Good morning. It's been a little while. Actually, not too long. It's probably been about a week. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. And a lot of that's going to come from the idea of last week's video where I kind of described some things to kind of consider when getting into the real estate career. Now, this week, I'm going to cover a ground that's actually in benefit of everybody, whether you're looking at buying or selling a home. There's a commonly asked question as to kind of how to find a good real estate agent or realtor, depending on what you're looking for, because there is a difference in both. And it's just like, but I'll start with the idea of one, what's the difference between real estate agent and realtor? Realtor actually pays more fees every year. It becomes a national association of realtors, which means that they're a group of a larger collective of professionals in the real estate industry, but they actually take into account a higher code of ethics, sometimes that supersedes some state laws, which again they could be brought up on ethics charges, etc. Like at two different levels basically. So it's a more thorough approach for a realtor. Real estate agents, simply just don't want to be involved with a larger group. They tend to separate themselves and just go by the state laws. And again, that generally has to do with firms as well as agents. So get you that simple understanding of that before I get right into this. Number one thing you want to look for in trying to find a real estate agent is straight ask the question, not how many years have you been in the business, but how many homes have you sold. Really simple. You can ask how many homes they sold this year, last year, how many years they've been in the business does matter somewhat, but not totally. Knowing from experience, training agents, and being an agent myself, and kind of doing both and wearing both hats, it's really, really difficult to judge an agent based on one sale, two sales. You need a lot of knowledge for this business to be considered a great agent, because you have to run the gamut in a bunch of different scenarios, problems you have to solve. It's a pretty intense business. So those that are really good problem solvers, have a lot of knowledge, generally tend to have a lot of sales to back that up. So you want to check for that. Now, I know that might be contrary to what popular belief is. Now, there are some firms out there that will help their agents and align them with, smart, savvy agents to help them when they first get started. You might want to look at some of that and give some people a shot. I'm not saying don't, but I'm definitely saying, really sit down and take a look and judge based on what your individual needs are, your family's needs. Because if you feel like this is your first time, do you really want to have an inexperienced person? Probably not, because there's a lot of education that needs to go into when you first buy a home. If you've never owned a home before, you want somebody who's going to educate you front to back on what are some things, even after closing, you're going to need to be worried about with your home. And that takes a lot of sales history. It means you've had to deal with a lot of different types of circumstances in history. Same thing like an attorney or a doctor. You wouldn't want to go to the first attorney or doctor that just got out of college, got out of doing their residency or whatever. You don't want to do that because you don't feel secure and safe. Same thing applies here. And this is just being honest. This is not to take away anything from, part-time agents, agents that haven't sold much, none of that. I'm just being very honest for the public's sake. You want to look at this. Second, you want to look at their reviews and their internet presence. Research them. What are they putting up on Facebook? What are they doing on Instagram? Social media is going to become a huge thing in the future, and it is already, for agents to start marketing their clients' properties, getting instant feedback, and engaging with the consumer. If you don't have a large internet presence, you don't have a following, means that you might be hurt when it comes to selling a home. Now, buying a home is not necessarily as important, but when selling your home, you need that person to have a presence, a following. You need them to be able to market on the internet. So you want to look at that, but look at the reviews too. Look at the details of the reviews. Now, are they just saying they did a great job? That's great. That's a form of recognition. Not taking anything away from that. But what I would say is dig deeper. Are they saying they're a more caring person, went above and beyond? In what ways? Now, are you seeing some consistencies in this? Now, if you have consistency in it, then you obviously know this person might be a person you want to interview because they might be able to work with you. Now, last thing is kind of a little personal, and some people disagree with me on it. But plain and simple, find a person that fits your personality, but also is willing to plan and cater towards your goals. This doesn't require any sort of real estate firm. This is you to the individual real estate agent. I personally, to give an example, actually care more about the relationship than I ever do care about the money. People will ask me how much I'm getting paid and things like that, and I'll let them know, but I really don't care about it. I care about the relationship. I care about my reputation. Reputation takes years to build, seconds to destroy. We've heard that a million times. I believe in that. So much so that that's the one thing that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the consumer, my reputation. I'm never worried about the money. I'm worried about the relationship. I want to be able to get done helping my client out, make sure that they're safe and secure, they're happy with their decision, but then still have a relationship ongoing. Be there for them as a point of reference if they need me. But also just I develop good relationships. So I like this job because I get to meet so many cool people and different people, different walks of life. So I get to be able to call people, hang out, go to special events and hang out at their houses afterwards. That's the special mark for me. That's what really matters. Now, some agents, they don't really care about that. They're very transactional in nature. They're friendly. They're, hey, how you doing? You get the sale done. See you next time. That's very much like Walmart. Doesn't make me feel good. But again, find out what works for you. So I'm gonna leave this last little piece, since I gave you these three things. Tie this thing up with a nice little bow. Really look at the character of the person. Are they a person of their word? You'll experience this right up front. Many people will tell you, promise you, say they're going to do things, but watch the action. Is the action working? Now, if they say, hey, I'm going to be there to take some pictures in 2 days, and they're not showing up, and they're not calling you, you're already started off at a bad point. You may want to reevaluate and start looking at another agent. But again, things do happen. We are human. So take a good look at it before you make a jump and make a good decision for yourself, for your family, because this is a very tough thing. Well, hopefully this helped. This is something I want to give everybody. Let me know what you thought about it. Comment on it. Happy to answer any other further questions. Maybe I'll do another video. You guys let me know what you think. Thank you again. Talk to you soon.